Hey, what's up, guys? Today, I'll show you a supernatural horror film, Lullaby. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a mother and her baby, Zach. She is trying to put her baby to sleep. Meanwhile, the husband savagely smashes every mirror in the house with a hammer. Suddenly, what appears to be a baby monster crawls over Zach's cradle. The man breaks one last mirror, but a demonic face attacks him, and we can clearly see how a piece of glass cuts his throat open, leading to his death. The scared mother returns to Zach's cradle, but finds his corpse gently lying on the mattress. The scene changes, and we find a different couple arriving at a flat. There's a knock on the door, so the husband, whose name's John, opens it. Then, the delivery guy gives John a couple of boxes containing different toys, books, clothes, and other belongings. These objects were sent by John's mother-in-law. Rachel, John's wife, says that these objects belong to her sister. John feels uncomfortable because those toys belong to a dead baby, but he says that doesn't mean it will happen the same to them. There we can conclude that the couple we found at the beginning of the movie was Rachel's sister and her husband, and the baby who died was her nephew. Later, Rachel finds a peculiar hardcover book with an enigmatic drawing of a woman. She opens it and finds a passage written in Hebrew. The entire book is written in that language and contains even more drawings. On the very last page, there is a musical sheet printed on. Rachel asks her husband to read the passages, so John takes a Hebrew dictionary to properly pronounce the words. The couple finds out the passages are in fact the lyrics of a religious lullaby, and Rachel vaguely tries to sign the melody by reading the music pentagram. Later, the couple takes Eli, their baby, and puts him to sleep, but Eli awakens and cries, letting us know that raising an annoying child will be a hard task for this inexperienced couple. 6 months later, Rachel is still struggling to calm her baby down. John leaves for a painting exhibition to exhibit one of his paintings, and Rachel stays at home to take care of Eli. Rachel does her best to put Eli to sleep, but fails at every attempt. Finally, Rachel takes some sheets from a box and places the annoying baby in his cradle. She realizes she has dropped the book with the lullaby song they read 6 months ago, so Rachel decides to give it a try. Rachel sings the lullaby, which immediately relaxes Eli and puts him to sleep in the act. However, Rachel is completely unaware that on one of her mirrors, a long crack silently appears. John returns home and finds Rachel waiting for him with a glass of wine. Then she takes him to bed to share some intimacy. Later that night, Rachel spots a decrepit old hag through the baby camera. The old hag is staring at Eli, throwing the cradles bar. Needless to say, Rachel freaks out and runs toward his son's room. She doesn't find anything and believes there's a problem with the camera. However, she notices there's something strange in one of the mirrors. We can spot the reflection of the terrifying woman that appeared on camera, but Rachel seems to be unaware of that fact. The following day, John takes a shower. Rachel approaches him from behind to share an intimate moment. But all of a sudden, the old demonic woman appears behind John and murmurs in his ears, but not picking his smelly ears. The old hag looks putrid, as if she was a living corpse. John freaks out and throws Rachel away from her, but not the old hag. Rachel gets mad, so she dresses and takes Eli for a stroll. John tries to comfort himself with his parrot pet and forget about the situation, but he notices 2 cracks in one of the mirrors. Rachel reaches the store and begins looking for a brand new baby camera. However, every camera screen on the counter starts flashing, and the old hag's face appears again. On top of that, lights go out on the entire market, and the only things we can see are the camera screens. Then through one of those cameras, we see that Rachel comes across the demon woman. She screams, and the lights come back. She finds out there is no demon woman at all, just an employee who seems as confused as Rachel. Back at home, Rachel hears Eli's crying from his room. This is quite unnerving, since Eli is resting on Rachel's shoulder, so it would be impossible for it to happen. In fear, she trudges to the room and finds what seems to be a baby moaning, kicking, and floundering under a sheet. Despite her fear, Rachel abruptly takes the sheet off and finds nothing but a stuffed toy. Behind her, the closet door opens itself, and a flash of lightning reveals the face of the woman hiding between the clothes. When John arrives home, he finds his wife waiting for him in the reception room of the apartment complex. She tells him there's an intruder in home, so John darts into the flat. There, he picks an iron bar to defend himself and his family. He spots a gloomy figure moving through one of the halls, so he goes after it. But all of a sudden, John feels something moving towards him from behind. This sends chilling hormones down his spines, so he hits the air with the iron bar as hard as he can, so as to stop the intruder. Unfortunately, the entity approaching him was just his parrot pet. The hit was too strong, and John accidentally killed his pet, sending it to meet Jesus. Later that night, Rachel confesses she's not feeling okay, and that she's having strange visions of an old hag witch of some kind. John interrupts Rachel and goes to the bedroom to pick up the Lullaby book. He points out one of the drawings depicting the same old hag. Rachel recognizes her immediately, and John tells her that he saw the same hag in the shower in the morning. The couple decides to throw the book into the trash can and sleep with Eli that night. Some hours later, while the family is resting, John hears Eli crying from a different room, which is impossible since Eli is sleeping between John and Rachel. Nonetheless, John sleepwalks outside the flat, following Eli's crying. He goes all the way down to the basement of the building. There, he snaps out of his sleepwalking state and realizes where he is. However, he can still hear Eli's crying coming from one of the trash containers. He searches through the trash, unaware that there is a ghoulish face hiding in the corner of the container. John finally finds the book he threw some time before and takes it back home. Then, he takes a look at it once more and notices eerie drawings of demonic babies and decapitated baby heads on a field. Meanwhile, Rachel is spending some time with Eli in the room. She sings a song for Eli, but then she gets distracted by a faint sound and takes her eyes away from Eli. When she looks back, she discovers Eli has disappeared in just the blink of an eye. Rachel gets inside the sheets and desperately crawls, looking for her child. It seems that the mattress is an eternal maze. She finally finds Eli, but when she approaches him, she shockingly finds out it's the corpse of a baby. This zombie opens his mouth and scares Rachel away. Fortunately, when Rachel escapes from the inside of the bed, she finds the real Eli under the sheets, safe and alive. The couple decides to tackle the problem once and for all. So Rachel heads to a mental health hospital to talk to her sister, telling her sister what has been happening recently with Eli and the witch ghost. Meanwhile, John takes Eli to church and asks the church's rabbi whether she has information on exorcisms or not. Surprisingly, both the rabbi and Rachel's sister tell the same story to the protagonists. It turns out the demonic entity that they are struggling with is Lilith, the first woman made by God and Adam's first sex partner. When Lilith was banished from the Garden of Eden, she began roaming the earth full of beasts, thus giving birth to hideous and repulsive creatures who were half human and half monsters. However, when Lilith realized her babies were imperfect, she decided to steal babies from human mothers and make them her own. When God discovered her atrocious acts, it sent her to the underworld for punishment. The bad news is that Lilith created the lullaby song to be summoned by people and successfully kept stealing children for centuries. We also discover that Rachel's sister had also approached the rabbi with the same problem, but the preacher believed she was out of her mind. Also, Rachel's sister says that her son Zach is still alive because the corpse she found was another baby, not Zach's corpse. John ends up with little to no tangible solutions, but Rachel takes her sister home to help her against Lilith. However, John is the one to reach the house first. There he finds out there's a leak in the bathroom, so he leaves Eli on the floor to go and check the leak. But while John's struggling with the bathroom's leak, a demonic baby appears slowly, flexing its two-headed figure. It throws a jar to the floor, expecting Eli to hurt himself with the broken glass. Fortunately, Rachel arrives and saves Eli seconds before hurting his fingers. Rachel's sister covers every mirror in the house, saying that breaking them is futile. Then, John receives a call from an unknown person asking for the book and to help him. John leaves and meets the strange caller at a morgue. There, the man asks for the book. He and his partner immediately realize the book is from the Middle Period, from the 15th century or below. The man also tells John that singing the song was just one of the 3 parts of a ritual to summon the demon Lilith. The second one was offering an animal as a sacrifice, which John had already done when he killed his parrot by accident. The last part of the ritual is making the baby bleed, which hasn't happened yet, so the mysterious man provides John with prayers and a chandelier with candles that must burn until dawn. He explains that Lilith can't come to the sacred light. Finally, the man asks John why he converted to Judaism, to which he replies he did it because he loved Rachel. So the man warns John to watch out, because if his faith is not strong, the prayers may not work. The man also keeps the book for himself, because it's a dangerous object. Back at the flat, Rachel is in the bathroom washing her face. However, she listens to her sister singing the lullaby to summon Lilith. When she approaches her, the sister confesses she's trying to summon Lilith so she can face her and bring her son back. She also shows that she has pricked Eli in the hand with a needle, and now that Eli has bled, the summoning ritual is finished, so Lilith is ready to take him. John drives to his home as fast as he can, but Lilith grabs him from behind, trying to choke him. John desperately stops the car and runs away. Meanwhile, Rachel takes Eli away from her sister, and the two start fighting, but a piece of furniture falls into Rachel's head, and she loses consciousness. The sister sees Lilith taking Eli with her, and when Rachel recovers herself, she finds out it's too late and that Eli is not in his cradle anymore. She yells in pain, but her sister drags her from behind and takes her through the mirror to a dark dimension. John arrives home, only to find the dead baby lying in Eli's cradle. Then he discovers Rachel on the other side of the mirror, although he cannot hear what Rachel is saying. Rachel cannot believe her eyes when she finds out she's standing on an infinite mountain of baby corpses, scattered one over the other. Then she's followed by a fiend baby that resembles a wolf and the two-faced baby found before. Luckily, her sister rescues her and tells Rachel they are in Lilith's realm and that if she wants to find her missing son, she needs to sing the song once again. At home, John sets the candles on and looks for Lilith. She's faster than him and takes the holy candles away from his hands. So John starts reciting the holy words, but it seems that his faith is not too strong because every candle is put off by the old hag. In the end, John's faith gets stronger and the light comes back, exorcising Lilith and sending her back to her realm. Rachel wanders through endless corridors until she finds a door. She breaks into a room that's completely the opposite of what she has seen. A calm and white area full of cradles with babies. Those babies are the ones Lilith has stolen for centuries. Both Rachel and her sister look for their sons, but the blood-chilling baby cries make them unable to find their babies. Rachel tries to calm herself down and concentrate a bit sharper. That way, she finally meets Eli and takes him with her. Nonetheless, she turns around and faces Lilith, who was right behind her. This Lilith, however, is not a grotesque witch-like woman, but resembles a real person. Lilith steals Eli again and hits Rachel so hard that it sends her to the ground. Rachel's sister throws a piece of sharp glass at Lilith's stomach and saves Rachel. Fast as lightning, Rachel stands up. The sister gives Eli to Rachel. Then Rachel escapes from the baby's rooms while the sister distracts the monster. However, Lilith takes the sister by the neck and sings her a lullaby, which makes her bleed and turns her into a horrendous creature too. Rachel wanders through the halls and finds nothing but mirrors that reflect other houses. Lilith's singing is so powerful that every mirror shatters, trying to keep Rachel inside forever. Fortunately, Rachel finds the mirror back home, so she rams it with all her might and lands safely in John's arms. That is until Lilith's hideous arm appears through a piece of broken glass. The couple shows her the sacred candles and says the prayers out loud, making the monster return to the underworld forever. Lights come back, and Rachel realizes she's holding Zach, her sister's baby, which means that Eli is still there in Lilith's realm. Lastly, we find John secretly buying the book back from the strange man. Afterward, he sits next to his wife and tells her he has the book. John sighs for one last time and wonders what they should do now. The movie ends with the monstrous sister being trapped in the underworld, smiling and singing a lullaby song to Eli. This implies that she finds her companion from her son's replacement. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.